Hello student, today we will discuss about pure bending of beams. When some external load acts on a beam, the shear force and bending moments are set up at all the sections of the beam, and due to shear force and bending moment the beam undergoes certain deformation, and the material of the beam will offer resistance or stresses against these deformations. The stress introduced by bending moment are known as bending stress. So in this topic we will see about the theory of pure bending and equations for bending stresses and bending moment, and about the strength of a beam. Here the topic is pure bending or simple bending. So in this, what is the pure bending or simple bending? If a length of a beam is subjected to a constant bending moment and no shear force, then the stresses will set up in that length of the beam due to bending moment only, and that length of the beam is said to be the pure bending or simple bending, and the stress set up in the length of the beam are known as bending stress. So we can better understand what is the pure bending with this examples. So you are seeing in this example a simply supported beam is loaded by two overhanging load W, same load at same distance from the supports. So first calculate the reactions. What is the reactions? Ra plus Rb, it is equal to 2W, and taking the moment about A or B. So here taking moment about A, is it? So when we will take moment about A, so Rb into L plus W into A, the moment of these Rb and to W, because it is same side anti-clockwise, so which is one side, and this moment W, it is another side, because it makes the clockwise movement, and another W and Rb is or make the anti-clockwise movement. So that is the reason ki clockwise on one side and anti-clockwise on one side. So we can calculate the reactions on the support, which is equal to W and W. So now calculate the shear force. As you know that we will calculate the shear force at all the points where loads are acting and also on the supports. So here you can start for calculating shear force from right side or left side. Suppose we are starting from the right side. So when we will start from the right side, the Fd is equal to W, and comes from Fv. Fv is equal to, again it is opposite load is acting, so W minus W, it is 0, and there is no any load between B to A, and at point A load is acting in opposite side, so minus W, and this minus W will be constant up to C. Now if we start from the left side, so Fc is minus W, and Fa minus W plus W, it will 0, and again A, from A to B there is no any load. So when we will come for point B, so it will be W. Now this W load will be constant, it means shear force remains constant between B to D. Okay. So according to this shear force value, we can draw the shear force diagrams. Okay, we are seeing above the base, positive value above the baseline and negative value below the baseline. Is it? In the same way, we can calculate the bending moments. So bending moment at D, it is equal to 0. Bending moment at B minus W into A. Why it is minus or negative? Because the moment is according to B is clockwise. Okay, so that is the reason it is W into A, it is movement, but it is clockwise, so it is negative. Okay, so minus W into A, again MA, it is equal to minus W L plus A plus W into L, so it is minus WA, and movement at C, it will 0. Okay, so according to this movement, we can draw the bending moment diagram. So you are seeing bending moment in the bending moment diagram at this portion, bending moment is constant. Okay, at this portion bending moment is constant by W into A, and at these portions the shear force, there is no any shear force. Here we can see it is shear force is 0. So this condition is the called pure bending of the beam or simple bendings. Okay, this means between A and B, the beam is subjected to a constant bending moment only. This condition of the beam is between A to B is known as pure bending of beam or simple beam. Okay, now assumptions for theory of simple bending. Following are the assumptions. The material of the beam is homogeneous and isotropic. What is the meaning of homogeneous? It means the composition is uniform. It means there will be no mixing. It should be same material. And isotropic, what is the meaning of the isotropic? The elastic properties in all directions are equal. It means all type of modulus of elasticity, modulus of rigidity will be same. Okay. Second assumption is the value of the Young's modulus of elasticity is same in tension and compression. The transverse section which were plane before bending remain plane after bending. There will no any change. The beam initially is straight and all longitudinal filaments bend into circular arc with a common center of curvature. The radius of curvature is large as compared with the dimension of the cross section. We will discuss in next topic what is the meaning of radius of curvature, and each layer is of the beam is free to expand or contract independently of the layer above or below it. So these are the important assumptions for the theory of pure bending. Okay. Here we are seeing a diagram. In this diagram, what are you saying? In this diagram, what are you seeing? A portion of beam between section, normal section AB and CD, and length is delta x has been taken, and this bending moment is applied. Okay, bending moment applied. So when bending moment is applied, what happened? This beam will bend in a curvature. Okay. So what are you seeing in this curvature? You are seeing that bottom portions is increasing, but top portion is decreasing. But earlier it is, before bending it was each layer was same, but after bending you are seeing some type of change. What is the change? Upper layer, upper is topmost layer is some decreasing, and bottom lowermost bottom layer is decreasing, but a layer which is in center is neither decreasing nor increasing. It means if we move from top to this center, this decreasing is increasing, but when we will move from this bottom to center axis, this increasing will decreasing. So this center, a point, a layer, a axis where neither increasing nor decreasing, this condition is called, this axis is called the neutral axis, okay, and it is also called the neutral layer, okay. So it is also called the neutral layers. So this layer is known as the neutral layers or neutral surface on NN, and this line of neutral layer is called the neutral axis, okay. So what is the conclusion of this? So above neutral layer, the beam will subjected to a compressive stress because each layer is shortening from neutral axis, and top layer has been shortened, okay, maximum shortened, and at the lower from neutral axis, what happened? The length is increasing. So this means above the neutral axis compressive stress, and below the neutral axis it is the tensile stress. So this paragraph is important. As we proceed from bottom layer towards the layer neutral axis, the increase in length of the layer decreases. Hence, the amount by which a layer increase or decrease in length depend upon the position of the layer with respect to neutral axis. This theory of bending is known as theory of simple bending. So it is called the theory of simple bending. Okay. Now comes for the expression for bending stress. So how can we obtain the expression for bending stress? Is it? Again comes for this diagram. Here you are seeing a diagram, a section between A and B, and this section is loaded, bending moment is applied, then it will convert it into a curve, okay. So and two axes, here AB, here CD. So when load is when the load or bending moment is applied here, so this AB is changed A dash B dash, and CD is changed into C dash and D dash. Okay. Then if we will increase this line, so it will cut a point O, which is the center of this curvature, and the distance from this center of curvature and this center line is called the radius of curvature. Okay. So in this beam, a small length delta x of a beam subjected to simple bending. Due to action of the bending, the part length delta x will deform. Okay, let A dash B dash and C dash D dash meet to a point O, and R is the radius of neutral layer from the center of curvature. Theta is the angle subtended by A dash B dash and C dash D dash. Is it? So here we are considering a layer, very small layer, EF, at distance y from the neutral axis. Okay. So EF is equal to delta x, and also n is equal to delta x. After welding, what happened? Neutral layer will be unchanged. So there is no any change in the neutral layer, because we have already discussed that this neutral layer neither compress nor increase. Okay. So that is the reason n dash is equal to nn, which is equal to delta x. So in this, what are you seeing in this stress diagram? It is the center neutral center of the neutral axis. So when we will increase outermost layer, stress is increasing, and we will increase in the lower part, stress is also increasing. So on the base of this theory, we can say the stress will be maximum at the outermost layers. Okay. So when bending moment is applied, so central neutral layer will be, there is no change in the neutral layer, but this layers, the change in this layer EF, here is the EF, but here E dash and F dash, and you are seeing the length of the E dash F dash is increasing. Okay. So that line is written here, but EF will increase, is it? So n dash is equal to r into theta, E dash F dash is equal to r plus y theta, because the distance from the center of curvature is r plus y. Okay. But n dash is equal to nn is equal to delta x, and delta x is equal to r theta. So increase in the length of the EF, E dash F dash minus EF, so r plus y theta minus r into theta, and finally we can obtain r by theta. So strain in the layer EF, increase in the length y theta upon original length. Original length was EF, so y theta upon EF. The value of the EF is r theta, theta cancel, and finally you can obtain y upon r. Okay. But r is constant, so strain in layer is proportional to the distance from the neutral axis. So stress in layer EF is equal to E into y upon r. Okay. So we can define modulus of elasticity, stress in EF and strain in EF. So stress is sigma and y upon r is already calculated. So we can obtain equation number 1. So in this equation number 1, E and r constant. Again we can say that stress is in any layer is directly proportional to the distance of the layer from the neutral layer. The variation of stress is linear. Okay. In previous diagram, figure C, you can see the stress variation of the stress is linear. Okay. So this equation number 1 we can write in this way: sigma upon y is equal to E upon r. Now comes for the second topic, which is the moment of resistance. Okay. So what is the moment of resistance? Due to pure bending, the layers above the neutral axis are subjected to compressive, whereas the layer below the neutral axis are subjected to tensile. Due to these stresses, the force will be acting on the layers. These force will have moment about the neutral axis. Okay. So the total moment of these forces about the neutral axis for a section is known as moment of resistance of that section. Okay. So in this diagram, you are seeing a rectangular section of a beam and a layer, a small layer of dy is taken at a distance from the neutral axis y. So the forces on the layer at a distance y from neutral axis is given by sigma, it is equal to E upon R into y. So these are, it is the force, it is the stress for this layer. Now force on layer will be stress into area, so area is dA. So let dA is the area of this layer. Now moment of this force about the neutral axis. So you know the what is the moment? Force into distance. So force already calculated and distance is the y. So E upon R into y square into dA. So total moment of the force of on the section of the movement of the beam is called the moment of resistance. It means total moment of forces on the section will be. So we will integrate all the terms E upon R into y square into dA, because E and R constant, so it will the outside of this integrations. So y square into dA inside of the integral. So let M is the external moment applied on the beam section. So for equilibrium the moment of resistance should be equal to the external bending moment. Okay. So M is equal to E upon R y square into dA. This y square into dA is the moment of inertia of the area of the section about the neutral axis, and moment of inertia is already defined, because y into dA, it is the moment of area of the section, and when we multiply again the distance y, then it is the moment of area, and which is called the moment of inertia of the area. So I is equal to y square into dA. So the equation will be M is equal to E upon R I. So M upon I and is equal to E upon R. So it is the equation number 3. So from equation 2 we have sigma upon y is equal to E upon R. So finally we can obtain M upon I sigma upon y is equal to E upon R. Okay, जहाँ M is Newton meter or millimeters, I is millimeter power 4 meter power 4, and sigma is stress Newton per meter square or millimeter square, and modulus of elasticity is Newton per meter square या millimeter square. In case of constant bending moment, the shear force is 0 in that section. ठीक है. Now another definition, which is section modulus. Okay. So it can be defined as the ratio of moment of inertia of a section about the neutral axis to the distance of the outermost layer from the neutral axis. So it is indicated by the Z. So Z is equal to I upon y maximum. So y maximum is the distance of outermost layer from the neutral axis. Is it? So we know M upon I sigma upon y. So M upon I sigma maximum by maximum, because stress is maximum, stress is depend, stress is proportional to the distance from the neutral axis. So if distance is maximum, so stress will be maximum. So we can obtain M is equal to sigma maximum into I upon y maximum. So we can obtain this equations. Okay. So M is equal to sigma maximum into Z. So moment of resistance offered by the section is maximum when section modulus Z is maximum. So section modulus represent the strength of sections. It means if we calculate section modulus, then it will represent the strength of the beam. Here we are seeing some sections for which section modulus has been calculated. So here you are seeing the rectangular sections for which width and depth are given, and it is the central axis, So moment of inertia about the center of gravity, you know, v dq upon 10, and by maximum it is d by 2. So z is equal to I upon y maximum. So when we will put this value, we can obtain Vd square upon 6. Is it? Now the same way hollow rectangular sections you can see. So I is equal to Vdq upon 12 minus small Vdq upon 12. So you can obtain Z. In the same way circular section, you know, moment of inertia pi d power 4 upon 64. So you can obtain Z section modulus, and the same way hollow circular section you can obtain section modulus. And in the next class we will see some applications or problems related to this pure bending of the beam. Thank you.